Here are some of the most common challenges students are currently facing with online classes, along with specific tips on how to address them. Number 1 is technical issues. Unfortunately, experts say, technical issues are bound to happen in an online-only environment. Ashford says that while attending one of her classes live through video conferencing, her computer suddenly shut down and she needed to restart the device. There are also moments when her Wi-Fi is spotty. The solution of this problem is to stay in touch with professors and inform them about what's happening, experts say. They will hopefully understand and be flexible about the situation, perhaps even recording class sessions as a backup. There will be technology issues, and I think it's important that every student understands they're not alone in that, to allow themselves the patience to work through the problem, says Dawn Coder, Director of Academic Advising and Student Disability Services at the online Pennsylvania State University World Campus. She adds that there's usually a fix for whatever issue arises. A school's technical support services can be a valuable resource, Coder says. Number 2 is distractions and time management. While studying from home or wherever students may be, there can be more distractions than usual, especially with family and possibly younger siblings around, says Reggie Smith III, CEO and Executive Director of the nonprofit United States Distance Learning Association. As a result of these distractions, and possibly having additional responsibilities, time management becomes more challenging. The solution for this problem is, try to think about building a schedule, figuring out when you're going to do what you're going to do and then sharing that with the other people in your house, says Beth Martin, Senior Lecturer in Environmental Studies at Washington University in St. Louis. Students should still prioritize their physical and mental health, even if life is busier than usual, she adds. Students should also try to identify a quiet time and place in their house to complete their coursework, if possible, even if that time is late at night, Smith says. If their other responsibilities become too overwhelming, students should consider talking with their academic advisor about course load options for the semester, he says. For instance, some schools are allowing students to switch at least some classes to a pass-fail grading system for the spring, which could help ease some anxieties, experts say, though the policy changes vary across colleges. Number 3 is staying motivated. Given that students may not be attending class at a set time on a physical campus, finding the motivation to get started on coursework can be difficult, experts say. When you don't see your home as a space of work, it's kind of a struggle to get in that mindset, says Emilia Ferren, a senior at Texas Tech University majoring in journalism as well as electronic media and communications. But I have different places in my house, where my room will be my little oasis, but my downstairs kitchen table is where I'll sit down and get my work done. The solution is, in addition to creating a daily schedule and finding a productive workspace, Coder says it can also help to simply focus on the ultimate goal. At the end of the day, look back on the day and mark off all of those items that you've completed. Knowing that you did will help to motivate you as well, Coder says. She adds that staying in touch with classmates, in addition to reaching out to faculty or academic staff as needed, can also help motivate students. Number 4 is understanding course expectations. The sudden switch to online learning has left some students confused about some course requirements for the rest of the semester. They may wonder, for instance, if a final group presentation is still happening given that students can no longer meet on campus, or if they need to complete labs for science classes. Students may also wonder whether their classes will have live lectures through video conferencing at a set time on a certain day, or whether students are expected to learn the material on their own time. The solution is, experts say students should be proactive in asking their professors questions about course expectations for the spring and whether there are any changes to requirements given the transition. Whether classes will be held live varies depending on the school, professor, and discipline. Knowing the expectations as an online learner will help with time management because, again, you can plan out and schedule what's really needed week after week, Coder says. Number 5 is lack of in-person interaction. The lack of in-person interaction with both instructors and classmates can be particularly challenging. Allison Prosowski, a senior at Rutgers University New Brunswick, is taking her spring classes online from her off-campus residence near the school. The chemical engineering major usually leads a study group for younger students on campus. On campus, it would be about me and 20 students taking the class. So you have that in-person, face-to-face interaction. It's a smaller group, you talk to the students, they talk to each other. The adjustment can be particularly difficult for students taking classes that are better suited for the face-to-face format, like those with science lab components. I'm a hands-on person, says Ashford, who now watches physics labs in a digital recording and then takes a quiz afterward. I consider myself a visual learner as well, but I prefer to play around with the materials as well as converse with other students to understand the material better. The solution: experts say students should take advantage of the tools at their disposal. While not ideal for all learners, the best alternative to actual face-to-face interaction may be video conferencing programs like Zoom, Skype or FaceTime. Talking on the phone with classmates or a professor is also an option. Number 6 is adapting to unfamiliar technology. Given the transition to online classes, Martin and her students are now adapting to some digital tools, she says. I think all of us have had to learn to use technology in the last couple months that some of us have never heard of, some of us may have used just a little bit of, says Martin, who typically teaches classes on campus. The solution: use the resources available through the school, Coder says. While this can include reaching out to technical support, students should determine whether they can save themselves time by looking up answers to their technology questions online or watching a video tutorial. Number 7 is uncertainty about the future. The sudden switch to online classes for the spring semester, and the summer, in some cases, has caused anxiety and raised questions among students about their academic futures. Some are considering taking the fall semester off if their school continues to stick with online classes, for instance, while others are concerned about upholding a full course load while juggling family responsibilities at home. The solution: Smith recommends students speak with an advisor or student support services as needed to determine whether adjustments can be made to their spring course schedule or a future semester if needed. For example, he says, a student may want to take fewer course credits in a future semester if his or her school continues offering only online classes and the student finds this format challenging. Regardless of the challenges that come with the transition to online classes, students should remember that assistance is available, Coder says. It can be a difficult transition, Coder says. But it doesn't have to be because there are many people who are willing and able to help with it.